Welcome to this video help file for the 3D Textmaker Action Pack. Once you've downloaded the file and unpacked it, place it on your desktop and you'll notice that the folder is named Main Files. Inside the Main Files folder are two files. There is a PDF, the Adobe document, the PDF file, and the ATM action file. Close the folder down, and I'll just want to show you now. I've made a sample texture that I'm going to use for demonstration purposes only. So to load the action, if you open Photoshop and open your actions palette, you'll see that the action pack isn't loaded on this action palette. Minimize Photoshop, open the main file folder that you downloaded, and double click on the ATM file named CS5 3D Actions. You double click on that, that brings Photoshop up, and you'll see in the Actions palette that the package is loaded. Click on the folder to the left, the arrow to the left to expand the folder, and the two actions are in there. One is the 3D letter action that works on a single letter, and the second one works on a line of text. All work that you do on one action equally applies to the other action. So for this demonstration purposes, I'm just going to use the 3D letter action. So I select the 3D letter action, click on the play selection button at the bottom of the action palette. This pop-up message is telling me to make sure that my guides are set. So click stop and ensure that your guides are made visible or enabled. Once you've done that, go back to the actions palette and click the play selection button to restart the action. This one here now is telling you that you're going to get a letter put in. The action will place a letter there, and you can alter the letter to any font you want. So you just click continue. There's your letter. You can change it because your text type tool is pre-selected. Change it to any text you want. To change the font type, just go up to your font selection and select any font that you wish. I'm going to use Tahoma. Once I've selected Tahoma, I'm going to make it bold, and then you'll see the changes on the text. Click on the Move tool and the action will restart. This message box is telling you that you can resize the letter using the transform controls. So click stop, enable your transform controls up in the show transform controls box, ensure that that's ticked. Click once to enable, and then click, hold it and drag to enlarge the letter. Make sure that the letter is within the guide, and the same applies with the line of text action. Always make sure that your text is within inside the boundary of the guides. Once you've resized it, hit the enter key on the keyboard to confirm, and then go over back to the actions palette and click the play selection button to run the action. Now that your action is ready for further use, click stop. You can now close down the action palette and go over to 3D at the top, click on that, and then scroll down to Repose and click on Edit in Repose. Here you can see the text, the letter is actually 3D. And you can make adjustments to the actual letter using minute adjustments with the extrude tool there. Makes it thicker, and that'll make it smaller, narrower. You can also scale it or do whichever you want with it. Whatever you feel that you need to do. Mess about, because this is a good place to learn, the file is a simple file, and it's quite easy to get to grips with what happens in these boxes. You've got selections here that you can change the settings of it. These are pre-settings, so go back to that, and I'll just narrow that down a little bit. Once you're happy with that, click OK. Your 3D tools have now disappeared. To make further adjustments to your text, go up to the top bar, click on Window, and then click on 3D, and your 3D palette will appear. If you just expand this a little bit, what you're now going to do is, for demonstration purposes, I'm just going to show you the front material, the front inflation material, which is this part, the front there. There's also a bevel around the edge, and then you've got the extrusion material which goes to the back, and the back bevel and the back inflation material, which would be this part on the back of the letter or the letters. I'm going to select the front inflation material with this selection here, 3D materials selected, and then on the illumination I'm going to click load texture, click the little folder, click load texture, and navigate to the file that I mentioned earlier on, the sample file. Click that and open, and that places that file as a front face on the text, whether it be the letter or a line of text. I can also do the same if I use the extrusion material, which would be the sides that you can see that are in grey. I could use another material or the same one. So I'm going to go select the extrusion material, go down and go to illumination, click the folder, load texture, and I'm going to load the same one. I'm going to click OK with that. And then you'll see that the texture is not as good as the front, but that's how you put your texture on the back. Now you can, once you've made them adjustments with that, your front and your extrusion and your bevels, you could even start going round to doing a lot of other more complicated things. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to show you now how to resize the letter or the line of text that you've made, and reposition it and twist it around. And to do that, you go to the bottom of the 3D palette, and these tools that are down on the left in the bottom half of it, click on the top one, which is the Object Rotate tool. And you'll see that this little widget has appeared on your screen, and also top left you'll see that your 3D tools have appeared. Now, to enlarge or make that letter or line of text smaller, I can select this tool here, which is the Slide the 3D Object tool. By selecting that and going over to the object, left clicking and holding the mouse down, if I push forward towards the screen, it makes the text or the text line smaller. If I left click and hold and drag away from the screen, it makes the text larger. If I want to move the text, I can click the one on the left of the tool I've selected, and that is called the Drag the 3D Object, and just drag that around back to the position that I want. If I want to twist it round, select the tool to the left, and that will rotate, and the tool to the left again, that will rotate the other way. And the other way of moving the tool is you can use a widget. So you've got a choice of what you wish to do with your 3D letter or your line of text. And that ends the tutorial, and I hope that you have some great fun with the action and you actually learn something. Thank you very much for your purchase.